Yo, what's up, you guys? It's me, Micheal Grant TV, and I'm back for a new video. So, boom, we gotta watch. Is LeBron working on his next super team? You know what I'm saying? It's from Jimmy Highroller. I've been watching Jimmy Highroller for years. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to start reacting to stuff like this. You know. So let's see what he's talking about. Oh shoot.
Into the NBA. We are only 3 weeks into the NBA offseason, and already the league looks like a completely different place than it did just last season. So far this offseason, 85 players have either signed to a new team or were traded to a new team. 85. That's 19% of the entire league wearing a different jersey next season. And with all these big moves going down, there will be a lot of changes in.
Like in a couple months, like the whole league changed, bro. Like literally in 2 weeks, the whole league changed. 19% of the league changed in like 3 weeks since the Bucks won, bro.
This upcoming season,
it's crazy.
The Bulls signed DeMar DeRozan and the GOAT himself, Alex Caruso, who will team up with his fellow former Laker, Lonzo Ball, which now officially makes Michael Jordan the second greatest Bulls player ever. After their most successful season in a decade, the Knicks had a great offseason so far, re-signing Julius Randle and Derrick Rose, trading for Kemba Walker, and signing Evan Fournier. The Knicks now look like one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. Going forward, the playoffs should no longer be just a goal for the Knicks, but rather an expectation. On the other hand, it seems like the Blazers have gone in the opposite direction lately.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the Blazers didn't do nothing, bro. Like, who did they sign, bro? Cody Zeller, I think. That's
2 seasons. Damian Lillard has been
Carmelo left.
Trailblazer ownership give him better tools.
Someone else
left
went to the
Spurs. So he doesn't have to score
40
a game just to give his team a chance in the playoffs.
Crazy, right?
And their response was to sign Cody Zeller, Ben McLemore, Tony Snell, while simultaneously losing Enes Kanter, Zach Collins, and Carmelo Anthony.
Bro, look at this dude's face right here, bro. Like, come on. Cody Zeller. Wow. They got worse, bro. Like, they got worse as a team, bro. I mean, Ben McLemore can shoot. You know what I'm saying? But, like, there's no defense there. I don't even know who that dude is. Right there. I'm in front of Carmelo. I don't know who that guy is up top. They lost. Damn. I think he went to the Spurs, but I think he went back to the Celtics. And he went to the Lakers. You know the vibes. But they got worse, bro. That's
there's
tough.
Bad off seasons,
Facts.
And then there's this.
That's all they did, bro. Like, that's tough, bro.
Almost like the Blazers want Dame to leave.
Facts.
Because in today's league, any player can leave at any time. In the last 2 weeks alone, the combined contracts of every player that has been signed or traded to a new team are worth... Y'all ready for this number?
Yeah, that's... All right, that's good. Okay. All right, that's good. It's enough slices!
$1,697,000,000.
Sheesh. It's a lot of money, man. That's bread.
At face value, just sounds like an astronomical number. But for reference, in the entire history of the WNBA, which has been around for 25 seasons, there have been a total of $271 million.
Wow. This is just the last 20 days. And then this is 25 seasons. It's tough, man, but you know the WNBA is not as popular as the NBA, so that's why they're not really making that much money. But that's it, bro. That's crazy.
Worth of player
contracts. I thought it'd be more.
Which means in just the last 3 weeks, NBA players who were signed or traded to new teams have agreed to over 6 times more money in contracts than every single WNBA player in the history of the WNBA.
Bro, think about that, bro. That's crazy, bro.
All of these contracts were signed in just 20 days. All of these contracts were signed over the course of 25 years. But this number doesn't even include the contracts of players that re-signed with their current teams over the last 3 weeks. If we include those contracts, this insane number inflates all the way to $3,683 million, including Steph Curry's 4-year extension for $215 million, which means in just a 6-year stretch, Stephen Curry will have made more money than every single WNBA player.
Bro, that's wild, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. Bro.
Ever combined. But Stephen Curry is the kind of player that you pay whatever you need to keep him around. He demands that type of money, unlike many other players. Because for every good contract in the NBA, there's about a dozen bad ones. The Miami Heat just re-signed Duncan Robinson for $90 million, the largest contract of any undrafted free agent in NBA history. And I'm happy for the guy. But that also means that next season, Robinson will be making more money than players like Jordan Clarkson, Christian Wood, and Jonas Valanciunas.
That's serious, bro. Duncan Robinson's not better than any of them. I mean, he's better than Valanciunas, you know. But, yeah, I mean, the league, they pay shooters, bro. If you can shoot, bro. And what, Duncan Robinson's like 6'7", bro. But, yeah, they pay shooters. Jordan Clarkson's only making $12 million, bro. That's crazy.
On that same note, Duncan Robinson's teammate Jimmy Butler just signed a max extension worth $184 million. Now, don't get me wrong. Butler is a great player, but this contract is extremely hefty for a guy who just averaged 14 points per game in the playoffs while getting swept out of the first round.
That's crazy.
This contract means that when Jimmy Butler is 36 years old, he'll be making nearly $52 million in the final season of this.
What? Yo, this dude finessed him, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This dude, Jimmy Butler, finessed the Heat, bro. Y'all think he's gonna be that? Like, you think he's gonna be productive at 36? Look at him now, bro. Giannis destroyed him.
4-year deal.
LeBron destroyed him, too.
This also means that by next season, Jimmy Butler will be making more money than Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, and will be making just about as much as Giannis. Like I said.
Jimmy Butler. Are you serious right now? Bro, look at this right here, bro. You have two MVPs here. Yeah, Giannis, he has 2 MVPs. You got Nikola Jokic, he got an MVP. Joel Embiid was top of the MVP discussion. And Anthony Davis, you know, he could be MVP too. And then you have Jimmy Butler. He's barely an all-star. I mean, he's not barely an all-star, but some years you can say he's not an all-star. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, bro. He finessed him, bro. What is Pat Riley thinking, bro?
Butler is a great player who offers a lot more than just numbers on a box score. But to pay him like he's a generational talent,
that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't seem like the best investment for a franchise
I'll pay
to build on their young talent. But the big story that has unfolded over the last 2 weeks is the Los Angeles Avengers. Bro. I mean, Lakers.
You know the vibes.
A lot to unpack.
Los Angeles Avengers.
Where do we begin? Well, for starters, the Lakers are a completely different team than they were even 2 weeks ago.
Sir.
Of the 15 players currently on their roster, 8 of them were not on the team last season. These new players include Russell Westbrook, Trevor Ariza, Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, Dwight Howard.
Y'all hear it. Y'all in the comments before, you know, when we lost, oh my God, Lakers never coming back there. How y'all feel now? It's Lakers in 5.
Ellington, Kent Bazemore, and Carmelo Anthony. In fact, this new Lakers squad is so new that the longest tenured player on the entire team is LeBron James.
I saw that on Instagram the other day. LeBron. Like, bro, that's crazy, bro. Who's
been on the Lakers for 3 seasons. And equally as shocking as the
since LeBron came, he just wiped out the whole entire organization, bro. New coach, new everything.
overhaul
it's crazy
of the
how
roster
what LeBron
is
does.
the age of this roster. Now, the average age of an NBA player last season was 26 years old. The Oklahoma City Thunder have the youngest roster in the NBA with an average age of just 22.8 years
22.
old, which just makes me feel old and stupid and ancient. But the Lakers, on the other hand, have a roster made up of players with an
I think it's like
age
32,
of 31 and a half
31,
years old.
32.
31 and a half. Last season on the Wizards, Russell Westbrook had played more NBA seasons than anyone else on the entire roster. This upcoming season, there will be 7 players on the Lakers who have been in the NBA longer than Russ.
Nah, that's crazy. That made me feel old. Russell Westbrook has been in the league for 12 seasons, bro. Bro, that's crazy, bro. Like, we used to look at Russell Westbrook like a young player. And now he's like a veteran, like he's up there in age. THC only played 2 seasons. That's crazy. And Kendrick Nunn. Wow. Dennis Schroeder just got a contract, so y'all can't see it, but Dennis Schroeder's right here. And then some other guy. But yeah, wow.
Dog, this team is just old. And this got me thinking. Is this Lakers squad the most accomplished group of NBA teammates ever?
Yeah,
I mean, with all that age comes experience and accomplishments.
MVP,
so here's a breakdown
championships,
of some of the major
scoring
accolades and awards
titles,
that the 2021-2022
All-Stars,
Lakers roster
Defensive
has
Player of the
amassed,
Years,
including some absolutely ridiculous totals
55.
like 55 All-Star appearances and 17 All-Defensive Team selections.
17 All-Defensive Team.
If we compare these,
bro, let's be honest. Most of these are LeBron's, you know.
numbers to, let's say, the 2017-2018 Warriors,
What the heck?
it's not even close.
Damn, bro. If all these Lakers players was in their prime, bro, Lakers in 5.
And that's because this
Lakers in
isn't
4.
a fair comparison.
That's
At the
crazy.
time, the stars of the 2017-18 Warriors were all in their prime with a lot of years left to play and a
bro.
lot of awards left to win. But the exact opposite can be said
And
about
everybody
this
here is
Lakers
like
team.
end of
Most
their
the big names
careers.
are past their primes. Their best
yeah.
days on the court long behind them.
Like
so
Carmelo.
instead of comparing them to the Warriors, let's try to find a more suitable comparison. What about last year's Nets team? Still?
Wow,
Not even close.
that's
okay,
insane,
let's try the
bro.
2017-2018 Cavaliers, an experiment
Oh, yeah, the
similar
one with
to this
D-Wade
Lakers team
and,
that LeBron
Derrick
tried to pull
Rose.
off, recruiting old friends and big names of the
Yeah.
past to try to win a ring. Still, nowhere
Wow.
close to the 2022 Lakers.
It's crazy.
All right, I've got a team that I think is pretty
What about like
compelling.
the Lakers?
2003,
Yeah,
2004
2004
when
Lakers.
the organization brought in Karl Malone on his last leg and a serviceable Gary Payton to try to make up for the deteriorating relationship between Kobe and Shaq. Well, we're getting closer,
Yeah,
but
facts.
still not there. Okay, let's try one last roster. One of the biggest failed experiments in recent NBA history that also took place within the Lakers organization. The 2012-2013 Lakers, when Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol joined forces
Steve
with veteran
Nash.
Steve Nash and a prime Dwight Howard. If y'all can recall, when this team was assembled, it broke headlines. On paper, one of the most stacked teams of the
Wow,
last few
it's very
decades,
close.
and a roster that most closely resembles the star power and accomplishments
crazy.
of this 2022 Lakers team. This team had the second best preseason odds to win a championship that season. Fast forward 8
injuries.
months, a bunch
Everybody
of
got
injuries,
injured.
and one clean sweep by the Spurs in the first round of the playoffs, and this roster was never to be seen or heard from again. And we all quickly learned that how a roster
stuff,
looks on
bro, the
paper
stuff
compared
that
to
that team
reality
could have done.
can often be two very different things.
For real.
I think we can all agree that this Lakers team is more talented than the 2012 team. Anthony Davis is in his prime.
But like, look, medicine and technology, all stuff like, you know, it's like it's advancing like in the last 20 years and stuff like that. That's why like people like Carmelo still playing at his age. Like, you know, if Carmelo was like in the 90s, he would have been retired. You know, look at LeBron. Like, this dude's almost in his 20th year, still MVP, Finals MVP. Like,
LeBron is still looking like a top 5
Jordan can never, like, for real.
player in the league. Westbrook just led the NBA in assists on his way
triple-double.
to
He
averaging
just
a
averaged a
triple-double for the
triple-double at
fourth time in his
32.
career. Carmelo
That's crazy.
Anthony has found new life as a great spark off the bench.
Facts.
Still one of the best shot makers in the game. And Dwight Howard is, well, he's Dwight Howard. Aside from
What did he
age, the
just
biggest
bro?
knock on this team being their lack of shooters. But if you take a closer look at this roster, they have more shooting power than you may believe.
Bro, last year LeBron was the best 3-point shooter on the Lakers. Wow, look at this. But look, AD, you can't even look at last season. He was injured the whole season. You know, he barely played. So that you gotta look at the season before AD.
With 4 players shooting better than 40% from downtown. But these guys, we won't talk about them.
Bro, don't put
But it
AD
seems like
there,
the
bro.
biggest
Like, what
question
is
about
it?
this newly assembled roster is whether they are a super team or not.
Yes.
And in my opinion, the obvious answer is yes. Of course they are. Simply because they have 2 all-NBA caliber players and another all-star caliber player as well. I'm really not sure how you
wouldn't
would
say
make the
super
argument
team.
that this isn't a super team, and it honestly has nothing to do with
I can
Melo
do it.
signing or the addition of Dwight,
I'ma
but
tell you
rather
that.
because we already know that AD and LeBron can win a title with an average supporting cast. So a championship
right.
level team adds
He's right.
an all-star and more depth. Well, you do the
It's
math.
definitely better
And
than
just like every other super
last
team
year
ever
team,
assembled,
and the
there's
year
really
before
only
that.
2 outcomes to
But
this
we don't know about the
experience.
defense.
A, they at least make it to the
They have
finals and
experience.
meet expectations, or B, they completely fall apart before the playoffs even begin. This has been the fate of every single super team in existence, at least in regards to their first season together. There's really been no in between. Just take a look at the successful and attempted super teams in recent history. The 2018 Thunder was a bust. The 2018 Cavaliers, bust. The 2017 Warriors, championship. The 2015 Cavaliers, finals and then championship the next season. The 2012 Lakers was a bust. The 2010 Heat, a trip to the finals and then a championship the next season. The 2007 Celtics, championship. And the 2003 Lakers, bust. This is just the fate of super teams.
It's
And
a
with
make
the
or miss league, man.
2021-22 Lakers joining this list, it's only a matter of time before they meet their fate as champions or just
bust.
another addition to the expanding list of super
Damn.
teams that were a bust. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, until next time.
Alright, boom. So I wouldn't say it's a super team. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a big 3. You know, but it's like the Warriors had literally 4 all-stars, and like they were all all-stars the same year. You know what I'm saying? It's like this team is like people not in their prime. All the people that's really in their prime is like AD. LeBron's still kind of in his prime. You know what I'm saying? This dude had like 30. Bro, LeBron's still in his prime, low key, but he's not prime athleticism. You know. But Russell Westbrook is kind of still in his prime, and then everyone else is like young players or like veterans that are not in their heyday. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a big 3. It's kind of like the Nets, you know, with Blake Griffin. Like it's not a super team, but it's like it's between those. It's between super team and big 3 because they have a lot of veteran leadership, people that lead their own franchises before. And then, but they're not in their prime, you know, so they can't give you the same production as if they were in their prime. You know what I'm saying? I said prime a lot just now, but yeah, that's basically it, man. But that's why I would say it's not a super team. If you call it a super team, I don't blame you. You know what I'm saying? You can say it's a super team, but yeah, Lakers are 5.